Okay, we're good now. We're good. Now let's see. Amazing. Amazing. Let me just do something like this so that I can see my changes. Cool. We are good. We are good to go. Amazing. Mobile view. Okay, so for the viewers who are watching this in mobile view, you need to go inside the channel and see the landscape one. All right, so yeah, let us do something now. Okay, so let me start with something what I did. I'm just like working on my this project. So what it does over here is I created a Apple sign in thing. So from the mobile development, from the client side, I have provided the options to, let me just start this project. Hopefully, yeah. So what I did was I have created a login method where previously I had it a plain ID password login, but this time I have implemented Apple login. So there are some things that I learned about it, so I'm going to share it with you guys. All right. Okay. Let's make run and probably just wait. I need to update something. Okay, so yeah, that is okay. Right now, I think we should start this thing. Yeah. Do, 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 do. Yeah, so I learned few things that when we implement sign in or login with Apple, so we have to make sure that from the Google Cloud Console we have to figure out these things. So if you are going to implement login for Android or iOS or something, so on the Google Cloud Console you have to obtain three keys, that is of web, iOS and Android. So these keys are going to help you to fetch the data which Apple provides, right? These keys are necessary. R16E, that is absurd. It should be iOS 26 or something. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, so Apple also sends only one time these keys. So then not keys, the name, the email and something like that, all the details, it sends only once. So you need to make sure that you save it, right? So you need to have those sign in, login or registration combined in one button. Okay, so as soon as Apple sends full name, family name, given name, email, Apple ID, unique ID, so it sends only once, so you need to make sure you save those. But the ID tokens and all, these are sent each time, so that you can use that ID token, or you can just refresh the token to obtain a new one. So yeah, that's what we implemented on the backend side. Let me just show you what I did. Let me just show you this thing. So I implemented a route called users login Apple, right? It's a post route, and I have written a controller over here that says Apple auth. Over here I had a few logger thing, right? Because I need to make sure it works. Cool. So I need to make sure it works, and we'll have it again. Okay, so yeah, so what I did, so there is a payload that has the credentials. So what a recommended way to do is, you should not like verify the tokens or something on the client side, right? That's highly unrecommended. So what I did was I fetched the credential client side, because our device will contact the Apple to get your details by using your device, right? So, and you need to also verify those credentials, so that has to be done on the back end. So once you fetch the credential, you send it to your backend, and that backend has all the validation and verification logic written, right? That's what we wrote. So we have Apple client ID that is there on the eas.json file, right? It starts with something like com dot your project, your like something like that, right? And so you have to have that client ID that is needed to verify the token. Okay, so now the credential, it looks something like, it has an identifier token, it has all the details like unique Apple ID, given name, family name, and that Apple sends, right? And also a user ID, there is a user ID as well, right? So it's a JWT token, that identifier token. So we will use JSON web token create to validate or verify that thing. So once we have a client ID, so we need to make sure it's in our env file, right? The backend is in Rust. So here I have written a function to verify the Apple token. So the function is verify Apple token. Okay, what I'm passing over here, I'm passing the identity token that I have sent it from the client side, the client ID that I have taken from the env file, and a logger, of course. Now let's go inside verify Apple token. Now this step is very crucial over here, because we are not going to believe on the do you have Twitter? Yes sir. So we are not going to it's pin v pin underscore v underscore pin. So yeah, so this has to be done very it's a very crucial step in verifying the Apple token. So we do not believe anything that happens on the client side, we need to validate it on the back end. So I'm passing a token, client ID, logger. Here I'm passing like the output would be, the return from the function would be a result type of Apple ID token claims. Now the good thing about here on the Rust is that it is highly like strong type system, right? So I have to define the type of each thing. So let's go inside this thing, what I did. One thing also, I have switched from Astro NVim to Kickstart NVim, and it's awesome. I think Astro NVim was a huge suspect when I checked why my system is slowing down. So I just picked Kickstart NVim, and I have been using it like from a week, and it's awesome. There are some changes, like Astro and Vim has everything, on the plate, but here on the kickstart you need to, it's not very much, the leap is not very much if you have already worked with nvim and all. Okay, so here you see I have defined few things. So I have created types over here, the struct. Now this is the Apple auth credential that I'll receive from the client side. Apple auth credential, this will be received as a payload of a request. Now what does an Apple auth credential, that credential, look like? Let me just also show you how do we call it. So yeah, so this credential is what that looks like, that I have shown you on the backend, right? So what I'll do, I'll use Apple auth credential authentication dot sign in async. These are the scopes, full name and email, and the Apple auth credential will look like this. It has an identity token that is very important, that we have to validate, right? An authorization code, a user that Apple sends, an email, a full name, of course. So full name is consist of so full name would be an object over here. All right, that object has a given name and a family name. So given name mostly will have the let's say if my name is Vipin Joshi, the family name would be Joshi and the given name would be Vipin, right? So this is what this credential will look like, that Apple will send back to the device. All right, now this data or this credential object, I'm sending it to backend in order to validate that this thing, right? So here I have defined the type of the payload that we are going to receive, that has an identity token, authorization code, user, email, full name. Now this full name would be an option of Apple full name, because the full name consists of given name and family name. So I have defined it like separately. Apple full name will have an given name and family name. This could be null, so I have used option. So for nullable values in Rust we use option, right? So full name would be an option of Apple full name struct, and this Apple full name will have the optional values of given name and family name. Few other things are there, like Apple public keys. So I have created a vector of Apple JW key, like JSON web keys. So these keys, so Apple JW key will look like this: KTY, KID, key use and all, right? And these things, and these claims that Apple ID token receive, that we will like get when we validate this thing, is the issuer, audience, expiration, issue date, subject, email verified, and something like that. That's pretty common, so that is available like if you search, right? And this auth validation code will have okay, yeah, that's a different thing. That's the previous login that I used, OTP based login, two-factor login, right? So let's go over here. Yeah, so this will return the token claim that has the issuer, issue date, email, verified, or something like that, right? And the error type would be boxed in error. Okay, now here is the thing, that token that I'm passing is a JWT token. It's a JWT token. So I'm using decode header method from JSON web token create. All right, this header would have a KID. If I don't find anything, I'll simply return that no key ID, and I will just say a logger info. I have, each time I am just defining an info over here. This info I'll have to update as well. Currently this info is highly synchronous. It's not very efficient. If I go inside this logger that I have written, it's so it's a utility that I have written from scratch to log things, though actix-web provide to log things, but just to I want to write it myself. So this is it. So this is the absolutely worst way to do so, because it's a highly synchronous thing. To make it a kind of asynchronous, or so we'll have to make it a channel based approach. So that we are going to do, not now, maybe today or something. Okay, so here is the thing. Now in order to send validate those things, to get the keys, I have to contact this URL over here, appleid.apple.com auth keys, and this keys will return a struct the response that is of type this thing keys. It's a vector of Apple JW keys, and these keys are there that has KID, KTY and all, right? So here I'll have the response that I'll have a key. Now I'll use a decoding key struct from JSON web token. From RSA component I'll pass these values and I'll get the decoding key. I'll have the validation, I'll set the audience, set issuer, and then I'll decode the Apple ID token claims that has the token data, that is email, issuer, issue date, and something like that. Once I get this data, this means the token is absolutely valid token, right? So now we are very highly like secure and not secure, but it's a step in a security to validate the token that client sends. So we should not believe everything that client sends, right? We should not say that okay, Apple is sending us the credentials, so that means the user is logged in. No, the proper approach would be to validate those token on the backend. So that's the token data. I'm fetching the claims from here. That claims has the data. So let's go inside user, right? So this is what it does. Okay, it returns a result. So I'll have a match over here. If I get the claims, I'll pass in take it on the claims variable, and the body has email already, so I'll match it if it's like there is an email or not. Again, these are some simple validation steps, though it doesn't have any try catch, so I'll have to match each time, right? So match has if it's an optional value, that it has some and none. On none, I'll just return simply that there is no email present, so you cannot proceed. Now email verified. Now this is these are the things. So email verified is there on the claims, right? Email verified, email issuer issues at expiry of the token and all. Now the validation part is complete. The next step would be on our side. Okay, so if you are checking whether the user is present on our database or not, it's simple. I have written some functions to check Apple user from the database. It's a simple select query to match if the user is present. If the user is present, then I'll say okay, user is present, token is valid. That means I'll simply create my own jot token for the client's device, right? So that I'll create using get jot, and that token I will send back to the client so that it can store it on our device, and that token will be used each time on a request. So there are two tokens. One is Apple is sending, the other one that we are creating. The one we will create is used to verify our request that client will send to our backend. I hope this makes sense. If the user is not present, then we have to make something over here that is kind of highly compulsory. Not compulsory, it was just a mandatory step. I'm sorry, wait a minute, just give me okay. Yeah, so this thing is a compulsion basically, because Apple only sends the details only once. So it was very much a kind of jabardasti ka thing to save these things. So what I did was I just updated on the client side that okay, this button what will do is it will either login or create a user. So there are other things as well. As soon as we receive a full name or given name, either we can save it so that if user luckily comes next time, or go on the registration page, but that will be too many clicks for the user. So we have to save clicks for the user, right? We don't have to make like user to click multiple things. We should make things easy for user. So I just created a login/register button over there. Now it's simple. I have only these names. what I'll do, I'll just create a user entry in my database. It's simple. Now the user is registered. Again, I'll have to create our own jot token to verify our own request to our own server, too many owns. And yeah, it's done. So this was how I implemented Apple login. Now you have to give me a minute because I have some work to do. Just give me a minute only. I'm going to pause the camera now. Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to come on chat. Okay. Yeah. Now let's do this thing. Let's go on the client side. I need to have some changes over there. This is my sign in page. Okay, and this is my, it says continue with Apple. Yeah, let me just see. If I go in login, it says continue with Apple. So instead of this thing, what I can do is okay. How much is your package? Nod your head if very low and can hardly hear anything you say. Oh, why is that? Why is that? Let me just, I cannot do any settings right now. Let me just see. Is it okay now? Is it audible? Okay, cool. So I hope the audio is clear now without any background noise, something buzz or hiss. I need to configure this mic. All right, let's start. So this whole thing has to be applied on the registration page as well. Okay, so let's go on sign up. Do. Okay. This. Okay. This thing have to be copied. Errors, verifications. So check up a lot. Handle Google sign in. This has to be imported. Now let's see where this thing is. Okay. Right. How to manage to get a Rust job? I see there are very less openings for Rust jobs, and those jobs only require senior Rust engineers. How to apply for the Rust jobs as a fresher with zero experience? Having zero experience is going to trouble. I mean, it's not very easy. I'll be honest. It's very tough as a fresher, working on Rust to get a job. The only thing that you can do is to gain experience. Now here is the thing: to gain experience, if you want a industry grade experience, so you can just simply contribute to open sources. So yeah, that's all I can say. contribute to open source repos responsibly and some meaningful contributions, like not updating the readme files and all. Then once you have a good expertise of a project, make sure you don't forget to have some networking as well to the maintainers of those repos. So yeah, it takes time, it takes a lot of dedication as well. All right, so now this checkable auth available, checkable auth, amazing. This one is for Google Android. Alert, I'll have to okay, now let's see. This thing. Prompt async. Maybe if I can do only here. I'm part of Turbine 3 program. If you know, there we build project, complete assignments, and do a lot of networking. Can you please out some open source project for beginners in Rust? Go in Rust links, and also you can contribute on the projects that I created. These are in my GitHub repo, extremely new, extremely for the beginners. So you can do that. And if you want some intermediate stuff, then go check out for any of the project like actix-web that are already open source. Rustlinks is there if you want to contribute. My repo, there are some projects, and puzzlefs is there, and what else, you can find those. Just go on GitHub, just press the /, you can search Rust projects. There will be lots and lots of Rust project. As a beginner, you can contribute to any of them. And also, what's your take on Solana? It uses Rust to build Solana program contracts, and also how's the Rust job market in Dubai? Yes, I have completed the Rustlink task. Can you share your? Yeah, sure, I'll share. No, I'm not saying about Rustlink tasks. They are extremely useful when you when you read a Rust book. I'm saying about contributing to Rustlinks. Yeah, sure, I'll just share my GitHub. Solana, Solana, if you work on Solana, that will be highly very specific to a smart contract. So I think you can do that, but once you should have the understanding of thing, not blockchain thing, but how Rust works, or how you can create any program, any CLI application, or this thing. Once you understand that thing, then you can switch to Solana. Because if you directly work on Solana or something like that, then there will be only smart contract specific knowledge that you'll have. Yeah, thank you for coming in. on chat. All right, so here we have Apple auth that I need to now this thing Apple auth, I'll have to create a separate function over here because this will not check on our database whether the user exists or not, because it's a complete register button, a plain register button. Maybe we can say something like, if the user already exists, then you can simply log them in. I mean, that defies the whole purpose of login and registration. Share your X, I'll give you a follow there as well. Okay, all right. I think it's pin_v_pin again. Pin v pin. Yep. Yes. Let me just share this thing. Yeah, that's the handle. Okay, sure. Thanks. Yep, got it. Okay, so yeah, so what I was thinking is, I mean, it defies the whole purpose of a separate registration, because all those things because you have to think from a user's perspective, because if a user is a developer, then again, if he get hands on your app, again he will test you as a developer. So if I'm using an app, I'll simply just I test it, like whatever app I get my hands on. So let's say if a user just simply go on registration and check out how good I am, he will simply go on register and click on this thing, and okay, so I think it's very device specific, because Apple will already have that information whether the token is generated for that ID or not. So yeah, I think that is mostly handled like on the first barrier as well. If I yeah, I think we can use this handle, no issues in that. Yeah, one thing I need to make sure here is I need to use Apple button, so I'll simply have this thing. This is my OTP email input. I need to check how it what are you building? Is it a company project or a personal project of yours? It's a company project. I mean, a project that I'm working on. Got some coffee. First, you're sloppy little bit. Okay. Yes, sorry for disrupting. Coding, happy coding. Okay, thanks. No, that's not an issue. Yes, I'm working. This is a company project basically. So that's why nothing you can see over here, the UI or something. So yeah, I thought like I should go live while working on this and share my insights or issues that I face while working. Wanderlust, go get some coffee first. You are sloppy little bit. Yeah, sure. Okay. Few things that I need to share. So I have to check my UI over here. If I go on this thing, so I have a sign up button over here, right? So if I search sign up, I can see it's over here. And if I go on login, I can see continue with email. Take some sutta break. Yes. Continue with email. If I say it's a sign up thing, right? So if I just search continue with email, I can see a divider over here. So cool. Let's I think I made a right choice to implement all the login and everything on the sign in screen first. So I was thinking to do it over here, but again we don't have any Google, don't have an account, sign up. I think it's already there, so I'll have to use it. So this let me just check where it goes. Okay, it doesn't take the divider in. Cool. So I'll have this thing. Yeah, let's copy this. And if I do what are you building? Just working on a project, front end React Native, back end Rust. It's a mobile app. Sign up. Yeah, I think let's paste this thing. Social login buttons are here. So instead I should show it login register. So yeah, that is fine. That is fine. One thing is handle Apple sign in. I need to update those use effects as well. I just forgot. Yeah, this thing check upload. I don't have to do anything in this because it is just checking the status if the Apple is available. Where is another use effect? Again, this is for the let's go on the third one. Yeah, this is one I have to update it. So is verified is for the registration. I have to figure out over here that show model, right? So I'll say show model thing over here. Now here I need to update few things. On the previous login screen I just used two selectors, right? These are Apple auth selector and login selector. So I think I need this one as well. and this will be used for login buttons, and the other state, that is register state, that will be used for our vanilla login, like or vanilla registration. If a user is skeptical enough to not provide any information of its own, then he can simply use an email and password, a username and email to register. But again, that also requires two-factor authentication that I implemented. So basically he have to give at least one of his correct information, like email. So I need to make sure I have this imported on the top over here. So this selector that I created, I will just walk you through what I did. So I'm using Redux toolkit to like maintain the state, right? So this is one I created. I had an initial state over here, and I created a slice called appleauth slice. It has all the reducer functions, right? So the benefit of this is it has a pending state over here, so that I can load or show loader in between. What are you working on? Actual job work, or is this a hobby project? It's a job project, job work. Tide enter. Are you from Pune? No, sir. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I can define as many reducers as I want for each individual function. So here I created appleauth, this function. Now this is a function that I have wrote in thunk, right? Thunk, and that thunk will again call the API client, and that API client has the function or my Axios config that I contact my backend with. So yeah, these are the functions that I wrote. These are the states that I'm managing over here. Is logged in, is verified, right? Cool. So Apple status. Now based on these things, I have to I forgot what was the variable that I used. Yeah, I think it is this. Yeah, should open. So what I'm doing over here is I need to make sure the model is opened, whether it's a registration or logged in, right? So I cannot write like these two separate functions for that. So I used an or operator over here. So whatever the case is, I need to show the model. So I'll just simply go over here. Show model. Okay, this is the thing. Show model is declared. Okay, show model. This function will update now. This function will get updated. So if I just press U, I'm just trying to understand what the project is about. I know it's a company project, you might not be able to share anything. Can you give a short overview? Yes, it's a mobile application that I'm working on. For now, I'm just so there is a request to also use the Apple login and Google login for the device as well. It's a project in very, like, it's in starting phase. So I just wrote what I wrote earlier was a vanilla login and registration. Like, it uses an email that user enters, and a two-factor authentication will be sent on to its email. Eventually, it turns out that users are thinking that it's highly demanding for them to click too many things at once. So we implemented this thing. Yep. It's an authentication part. Better to add this as a command. Many people would want to know what the project is. Hmm. Yep. I have been learning it from like a year now. It's been a year now. Like, first, like 3 to 4 months, I have taken very, very long, like, time to read the Rust book and do Rustlings. Then I just moved on to do some projects, and then eventually migrated my Node.js server to Rust. So that was a headache. Now that server is completely running on Rust. DX? Are you working on the Rust specific company? No, it's not Rust specific company. I just proposed them because this thing that I'm working on, there is a highly computational step. There was a computational step that so I told them that okay, this could be done. I could try this in this function in Rust, and it was a little bit improved. So I said that okay, few other functions are there that I can like transform. So they agreed. I did that, and there was, I have to write a complete different server for a service. I think it was, yeah, there were like two separate what do you call process. It's you know a backend, back office application, that so that has to be written a separate node that is running, that will contact to a these two nodes will contact each other. So this part is written in Node.js. So I like gave them that okay, I can write in Node.js, it's not very very tough, but let's try this in Rust first. So that thing that I wrote in Rust is in production right now. And yeah, so that's how I just used Rust. So it's my basically very greedy approach to implement Rust, because again I won't be like finding anything that uses, like, they will take me as a specific Rust developer. So I thought that let's create a role inside. Headache seems like an understanding and statement. Switching from Express to Fastify was a headache for me. Yeah, okay. Okay, developer experience. Oh yes, it was amazing. Because I have, like, I always wanted to work on, like, I have been like very moved by seeing C or C++. So it was good for me. Again, it's a individual thing. But moving from like Node.js or JavaScript background to this, it was amazing for me. Yeah, it's a default from Kickstart and Vim. Bro, you should have seen the theme from Astro and Vim. It was pretty sick. But I mean, this is not good as Astro and Vim, but this is very fast. It's better than writing in Typescript. Yes, I think. Again, I'm saying it's a very individual choice. Uh, because I think uh, I have invested so much in it that I have to now say that it is good. But no, it's seriously, it is good. Yeah, amazing, awesome. I couldn't wait to rewrite everything in Rust right now. So I just like look out for projects that I can, just simply. Uh, DS cannot be better than TypeScript because of vast community. That truly matters when you want to do something more complex. Yes, I mean that is the point. It's a valid point. Okay, so yeah, should open. Now this should open, I'll use it instead of like is verified. It will be used. So this thing, I'll have to use it. Timer. This has to be cleaned. This is good. Clear timeout timer. So this also have to be changed, right? And over here I can say clear. Now this has to be done over here, right? On the cleanup. Why did I wrote return? So this clear interval has to be pass timer in it. It's a clear interval. What the heck is this clear interval? Oh, it should be clear timeout. Just sign in. Show model. Show model is declared, but its value is never used. Alright, results is there, should open is there, timer. Why I am doing this? So I can say if not is verified, so I can say set is verified model open. I'll just simply call it false, and then I can say const timer is equal to set timeout. There will be a callback, and this callback will run after these milliseconds. So set is verified model open. I'll just make it to true. What the hell is ID? What the fuck, man? It's if. Okay, and later on when I just clean up this thing, I'll simply say clear timeout. This whole thing will be okay. If it's not verified, type timeout has no call signature. What the heck is this? Did I messed up something? No. So I have an issue on this thing, but that's very cosmetic. Maybe I can simply say continue. If I open this. Let me refresh it. All right. Okay, it's pushing it to home. Sure. MB. Check login and this magic sign off again. So it's already very no. This is good. So now these changes are done. So what I'll do now is this. Did I do anything over here? No, I think we are good here. Let me just check, because if I did anything over here, then I need to deploy it. I need to restart the service on the server, and for the front end I'll have to create a build, an iOS build. From there I will create an IPO, and then I will publish that IPO on the test flight so that I can have it on my phone to check the changes and share it with my clients as well. Let me just check. Okay. We are cool, we are clean, we don't have to do that. Nothing for the deployment on the server. We just have to publish this app, but again we can wait for some other changes. What else I have to do? I have to show some error toasters as well. We are almost done here, so you guys have to give me a break because I have to do some lunch, do some eating. Okay, till then you guys can just also, you know, go and chill. You don't have to see this boring guy. Boy. I'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes after doing some lunch. Okay guys, going to pause the camera. If you have some questions or something, like, you can drop them. I will just come and reply those. Thank you. Hello, we are back. So, where were we? Hmm. All right. So I think the front end part was quite completed. Uh, yeah, I think it is. Now let's go on the back end. Let's go on the back end. We need to implement something on back end. Cool. So we are pretty much done over here. Let's see what we have to do over here. All right, so this is the function that I created to log requests. That is pretty basic, and it was for the development point of view. Maybe we can, what we can do, either we can remove it, we should not do it basically, because I have created a logger that you can see on the top over here, right? Log new info and error and all. What we can do here is maybe we can because there will be two logs. So this log request, it basically it prints on the console about the request, what request is incoming or not. So .wrap is used to create middleware, and these functions we use as a middleware function using from function, right? The same thing I have written for checkauth. So it validates the token that I sent from the client. Let's go inside log request. It's nothing but this. Maybe result is this, right? Can we have some condition over here that if it's a development environment, maybe we can define a key on .env. If it's a dev environment, it's okay. If it's not, then we should not do this. We need to check. See, this logging is already available. Logging is implemented as a middleware. It's common to register a logging middleware as a first middleware of the application. That's what I did. Logging middleware must be registered for each application. The logger middleware uses a standard log to create log information. You should enable logger for actix-web package to access logs. Default of filter info. So this logger default, logger new. So this is what I see. User agent. But I need to figure out whether we can we use conditions over here? I already have this env logger over here, right? This thing info using log info and error. So I'm using a log crate, I think. So if I say maybe I can say let dev how do we take values from the env file in Rust. Env var hostname. So we'll say right. Right, let's see. So we'll just use this thing. Right. Created a response over here. But if it's not there, this has to be. Let's write very crude thing first. So if not dev then it's okay. Then we have to simply not do this. Again it will, I have to, I think, parse it as well. Right, I have to parse it in boolean and I have to provide a default value as well. Can wrap or else. But if it's not, then I have to use this as well, right? It returns a T and it returns an error. Expected string. Therefore else it has closure. It needs a closure. Okay. So Debian V should be there. If it's not, then okay. If it's, then it will simply just call the next middleware on the line. So I'm going to keep my editor on the second screen because I have to edit env. Okay. Okay, we are here. Let me check if it's working. Let me sign in, log in with some random shit. Maybe I can pass in logger as well. Now it needs 3 arguments. Request, next, and the logger. Do we have request? Let's check the documentation on the middleware. So from function, it will take my middleware of wrap to create a function as middleware. So my middleware is a function over here. SRV. The issue is I need to pass another variable over here because logger I have already defined. That's one. Okay, so we have to ask one thing where how can I pass a how can pass variables in a actix-web middleware in from function. Insert data in middleware. Inside your from function, use rec.extensions.insert to store any data. Give me an example. This is a middleware function, my middleware. Oh. अरे नहीं यार. I know this shit. I mean, this is the way to modify a request without actually modifying it. So actix-web provides extensions related functions in a request so that you don't have to actually modify request body if you want to attach some data in it. It's completely a different thing that I have. How can I pass variables in a actix-web middleware from function? I think this should be the correct way to do. So middleware you can use array yaar. No wonder I need to modify my query. How can I pass a parameter in a actix-web middleware? I think this could be it. How can I pass a struct from actix-web middleware? Add data to request. No. I mean, this part I already did. Like, how do I attach using extension, right? Let me just show you. I was thinking to pass logger here, but anyways. Yeah, so if you go inside checkout, you can see I'm using this rec.extensions mute.insert the current user. So I'm validating a token here. If the token is valid, then I should have a claims over here, right? And that claim will have a current user ID. So I'm attaching this to it after decoding it. That's what we did in validating the Apple token, right? So the flow is same, the concept is same. The thing is, how can I access this log over here? Maybe okay, I have the app data, buddy. I have the app data. Why I'm passing it from here? Let's see if I get this over here. Logger data. Logger. Yes, sir. Now I can see it over here. If it is this, then directly instead of doing this, maybe I can just simply, pass a res, and then over here I can say logger.info. I can say request, and I can say yep, nailed it. I think this is the right. And if we have any error, then I can say, oh man, logger dot error. Yep, I forgot that I already attached it into the actix-web data, so it's easier now. I can just access this data over here, and I can pass in the logger, and I have the logger over here. Cool. Okay, now one thing, just I remembered it from logger. If I go inside this logger again, it's a pretty synchronous thing, right? So we can do, if you have seen my previous video, we tried making it by using MPS channels, so we can do that. We can do that. So over here I have logger, right? So let's keep this thing as a logger. Maybe let's create another function. Oh, file. We can name it logger ch.rs. Let's edit it on mode. Now it is accessible. Yes, let's go inside it. Now here we have to do what? Karan, what happened, buddy? Cool. Let's go here. So let's implement a channel based logger here, so that our main thread should be busy doing what it is supposed to do in a server. Log requests, not log request, we'll have a separate thread for this. It should do the other, like processing query and all, right? So we'll not touch the main thread. We'll spawn a thread that will be spawned specially for logging the logs. We'll use channels for that. A channel has a sender and receiver. Whenever we have to do something, we'll just send it. We'll create functions like info, error, warning, debug, and inside that there should be a channel running. It has a sender and receiver. So whenever we want to log something, we will send it, and we will have a function where a receiver will be actively looking for the connection, for the sender's message. As soon as it receives, it will log. How is it? How is it? I'm just watching you code. Okay, no problem. How about doing a stream teaching Rust? Yeah, we can do that. I mean, mostly maybe on Saturdays or Sunday. There are hundreds of videos for that. Spoon feeding creates bad developer. Everything seems to be valid right now. If you say how about teaching, like starting a stream. So yes, I mean, this is the thing. If you like watch tutorials or like too many things, then it will certainly, this is not going to be work. So eventually you have to like get your hands dirty. So maybe yes, don't wait for any tutorial, just start building. Okay, what else do we have? Can we, okay, let's change this thing. So on the synchronous logger, let me just see. Yeah, so okay, so on the logger I have these two files, and the new I created this thing. So I have this thing, but in this one what we'll do, we'll also have a log level enum. So we'll keep the enum with us. So let's create this thing. Info warning. Let's create some additional, right? We forgot the main error. Okay, this will be our log levels. Maybe we can implement a match in those, right? Logger. What do we need here? We can pass the sender from here, and then we can do sender.send, right? Orders can be sent. I think we should return a sender from here. See. The sender would be having let's just create this thing first. I don't have any idea right now. I mean, all right. This new no. Should it be getting no? So I'll say this one thing. Let right, and I can just simply so okay, so sender, so it has a transmitter and receiver, so I can say something like some function like log worker. I'm just writing out. I'll just pass rx to it, or maybe some file. That file I'll be getting on new, right? And from here I can just return logger that has sender What do you think, guys? What the hell I'm doing? Okay, this sender would not be getting this thing. So the purpose is when I call this new logger, like I did that, so on the synchronous one I had the references, not very much, like I should say this word references, but like generally speaking I had the kind of pointers to those files so that I can like flush the changes. But here if I do new logger, then I should have this thing, and when I access the, I'll say logger dot log logger dot info, or not, I'll say logger dot send. So if I have the sender, then I can send. So this sender should have there should be a level message. Timestamp. Should we have it? Or when we'll format the message, we will have this thing. So I think level and message would be this. So if it's an info, then message and not. Right, so let's remove this thing. So when I call this thing, so I have to imagine this thing, right? I have the instance and I'm going to say logger dot send, and inside this thing I'll pass message and the level, or I can say log message dot new. I have to create one this instance as well. Here I'll get level and message, and here I should return log message. What should I have it here? Any idea why I'm writing so? Or not, maybe I should get this thing. Go back. Cool. Message would be, I think the message would be something like format message, and I'll have to pass in the level and all. So here I need to format it. So simply format it. What? How should it look like? So maybe I can say something here, right? And then message. So level, again level is an enum. So implement says clone. If you have cloned the value, I was thinking that it's an enum. So how can I simply I passed in this. What do you think, guys? I mean, it's a level. Right? So I can. Okay. Error. The same goes for warning and debug. Value used here after move. So here I think I have to like spawn. Oh, I have to spawn a thread over here, and inside that thread I have to keep like this function log worker, and I have to create a function over here as well. That has some logic to log. Right, let's see this thing first. If log levels implemented clone, you could clone the value. Move occurs because level has type log levels, which does not implement copy traits. What the heck is this? But value I think already moved, so I don't need to clone this thing. Why should I clone? Instead I can just create this thing over here, just format message. I totally forgot this, that we have this as well. Now what's in this? What should I pass in this? I don't think this will be present. What the heck is this, man? On the log worker, I think we will use this function. But how can I get timestamps? Okay, we can have this. We can have some different. So if I have ymd-hms, yes, maybe this could help. We can have this in this format. Timestamp. Can we get timestamp over here? We can say UTC. Now dot format. So I need a format over here. Maybe we can have this ymd and hms. Right, and I can simply say time stamp is time stamp. Okay, so here I can say at this at Now here on the logger, we have this thing. So we have to spawn a thread over here. That thread will be working on this thing, message logging. Font and handle. What it needs is it need a function inside, right? Closure. It needs a closure that we have to define some function in it. And again, to move this thing here, what I can do is I can call a log worker over here, right? So I'll say self log worker, and I'll pass in the rx receiver and info file, error file, warning file, debug file. So these all things I'll receive it over here. What the heck is this? Okay, yeah. This log worker, it needs some receiver. Log message, and again it needs these things. So it's better to copy these. And then I can simply send it over here. Escape outside of associated function. क्या बात है, क्या बात कर रहे हो, क्या बात कर रहे हो? So I already have this thing. Let's call the lifetime of this reference. Take one, borrow data. That is why. Okay, now this log, how many of them are online? Do you play stream games as well? No. No. Okay, now here this log worker is inside this thing, thread spawn. Okay, and each time we call this thing, so we'll have this reference logger, and I have a sender. What I'll do is let's say I'll say logger, let logger equal to new logger, and I'll pass in the info file, error file, all these things like the previous one, correct? And inside this new function it will do this blah blah blah. Let's say everything got created well, then I'll have a logger instance. So I'll say logger dot, I'll say info, log info, and that info, you know what, I won't say this, I'll say logger dot send. Okay, I'll say logger dot send, and I'll pass in the log message. I'll pass in the level and Hello. Yes, 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 yes. Sorry. Chicky chicky choo. Okay. Let's write this log worker. So we have a receiver over here and all the file references. Okay. So like let me just show you. If I show you logger, so you can see on the how we created these files is info error like this, right? So we need these things. Don't want to write anything right now. So how can I do this? Open options. We'll use open options. And this info will have info file. And this will have error file. Right, now let's copy all these things for debug and warning. Cool. So we have yeah. We need to have some return type here as well on this function. So this logger function, and it says that this thing will only be, I mean, we use this specific kind of this thing onto a function that returns a result. So maybe we can just say like okay, so it won't do. Let me just select this and type okay, maybe dot okay, and yes. All right, amazing. Info error debug and all these files are there, right? So here because we have a receiver, so we need to keep listening for the sender that sends the message, right? So I'll say while okay, and inside this thing I'll have the log message, right? So maybe instead of like this, I can show you by this rx dot this function, right? What it returns, so that you guys can be clear on what should be right on the left side of this thing. It returns a result of log message and an error. It returns a result of log message and an error. So when it returns a result, how can I take this? I'll say this thing, right? And I can simply say while over here, right? So just like if let, we have while let statement. So while this keeps on receiving, it will fetch some log messages, right? Now I need these log messages to be flushed, right? So these log messages I need to be flushed means it needs to be right on those things like info file, error file, debug file, or warning file. But how do I choose? So I think I have to pass it level as well. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Do I have to pass in the level? I have info file, error file. Why should I pass in the levels? What kind of... Then how will I define like so if I have this thing file, how can I write the changes? Let's see. Blah blah blah. This thing get timestamp. I have created a function. Okay, this thing. I'm using mutex over here. Mutex on these files, right? So I think I have to use this thing. I need mutex. I need mutex. I need mutex. Right. But when I have these functions, do I need to create one? Like this log worker has to be writing this thing over here, like inside this recv, it has to log messages over here. Over here it has to log messages. And oh wait, this rx is, it wraps a type of log message, and I think log message has already a log level. Let's see, log message dot level. Yay, cool. So here I think I'll use this level to flush the message to the appropriate file. You know what, instead of this thing, a string file, maybe we can have something like this: mutex new info file. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Oopsie. So I already have this file path, and what if I do this thing? Yeah, I think I should do this. So why I'm using a mutex? Because so let's say there is a file and multiple threads are trying to access that thing, so it might like lose some data. So mutex, what happens is, whenever I access a file, if it's wrapped around a mutex, I'll have to take lock in order to perform some operations to it. And when the other threads, like, they come to see a file, access a file, they see there is a lock already taken, so they just wait in a queue. Once the lock is dropped, they quickly get the lock and write the operations, right? So there are no race conditions if I use mutex. Okay, over here maybe I can say let level equal to log message. Log message dot levels. Maybe let's save some lines. So I'll say if it's an info, you know what, we have written format already, right? Based on the level it just perform things. So maybe if I just do this thing, it will automatically do this thing. So maybe I can just write let formatted message equals log message dot format message. What do you think? I already have this thing now, formatted message. Now I can simply just, if it's an info, I can say how do I take a log? It's a if let statement that I already have written over here. If let okay, I have the mutable file over here, and I'll take the log, I'll write all, and I'll flush the changes. So basically another thing that we could do in this is errors. If there is an error, it should be immediately flushed. If there are info or warnings, maybe we can have a buffer for them, store them, and later like dump them all at once into a file instead of flushing it. But we'll start very raw, we'll flush everything immediately, right? So say I have a mutable file over here, and I'll say info file dot log and I can say file dot write. What the heck? Why it's not showing info file? Info file. What the heck is this? So it has all these things, right? I'll pass it on. If I say new logger, it will do this, and I only have to say logger dot log, and that log will send the levels and everything. Let's write the exhaustive case first. It is bugging me out. Let's not do anything over here. Come on. Okay, this is good. So The issue is why it's not showing. Need not to be mutable. Mutex standard fs file. Okay. Log entry. Does anyone have any idea? What the heck is this? Is it okay or some? It is okay. ये है mutex file dot log. File dot अच्छा, it's an option, right? Maybe so buffer here would be formatted message. Now it takes a byte, so I'll do as bytes, and I'll just say file dot flush. I'm just doing the now here is the thing, cannot move out of dereference mutex guard. Consider calling as ref. New problem. Cannot move out of dereference mutex help calling as ref. need nodes to be mutable because now that it's ref taken. Oh my god. So let's deal with this thing. What the hell? I already have this thing. So I have info and warning, so I'll simply say if let okay a file, and I'll say info maybe I could do this here only. So the oh my god, I have the bad habit of like hitting enter whenever I see the suggestions. Formatted message. Can I do over here like dot as bytes? Now here I can just simply undo this, and I can simply flush. Temporary value dropped while borrow considered using a let binding to create a longer lived value. Okay, it says value dropped while borrow later used here. Damn. Yeah. Now let's do one thing. Let's copy this thing and paste it over here. Let's call it warning. Okay, so no need of exhaustive casing right now. We handled all these cases from the enum. Now if I call this logger, I'll have to pass all these things, and it will call log worker, and whenever I send a log message, it will automatically send the message to appropriate files. So now we have reduced the use like a dependency on, I'll simply call like logger dot new will always be there, and I think I'll have to only send, I'll have to use sender. I'll have to say send, and that send oh man, I think we have to create another function like log message that will take a message and send, or maybe we create a log message and we just say sender dot send sender dot send. Let's see. Hopefully I think we have to create one. So if I say public function log message, it won't do anything. What I can do over here is I can say self dot sender dot send. Here I can see send the log message, so I'll say log message. I'll type the level that I'll pass it, message again that I'll pass it. Timestamp is something that I can generate right now, but I have to go on this thing. But log message doesn't need a timestamp. Maybe if I create new log message, that will do. But how can I avoid creating a new log message if I want to send something? Then I'll have to say something like log message new, and here I have to pass level and message that I can get it from here, log levels and message as a string. But again I have to use semicolon because this doesn't send anything. Cool. Yes. So now I only have to pass level whenever I have to log message instead of keep. So if you have seen my previous implementation, let me just show you users controller, and if I go and see verify token, where the fuck is verify token? Verify Apple token. If you see here, you can see if I want to log info log, that I have to do logger.info. Correct? Logger.info. If I have to use track an error, I'll have to say logger.error. Why? Because if I go inside logger there is no enum called log level, so I cannot define any log level like info, error, warning, right? But over here on our new implementation, thread based implementation, I have defined enum, log level, info, warning. Now whenever I log message, I'll just pass the level. I'll say let logger equal to new something logger. I'll pass the all the info files path, and when and on that instant I'll simply say logger dot log message, and I'll say info, logger dot log message warning. So this way there is only one function based on log level. It is just matching, performing a match over here, right? And based on that it will send it to the appropriate file. And if you want to see why I used open options and why I used OK over here, so what it does is open options, so instead of using simple files I used open options. It is good. It creates, it has some flags like create true. Now here append true. If I don't use append, what will do, it will just replace the content next time a log is created, but I don't want that. I want a history of logs. So append is the thing. So if I don't use append, then I'll have to separately initiate a flag called write true. But if I use append, it like inbuilt under the hood it implements write, so don't have to specify write again. So I'll use just append. Open to create a file if it's not present, right? So the same thing. One thing I can do is write it once, use match statement, and this function will be written once. Based on the log level I'll pass in the file, but I don't want to do that right now. Like removing 10 lines won't do anything. Any chats? No. It's like okay. Yeah, I think this is done. Spawn a thread. Spawn a thread. Okay. Okay, so it's time to replace our current logger with the new logger. Let's go. Let's go. Something is missing. So info and error. So I already have this warning and debug. I don't know why I used them. Maybe in dev environment I can use warning and debug, but this thing logger, let's remove this, and let's have to fetch this thing from chlogger. So I have info error. I'll simply say warning dot log and debug dot log. Expected string. Yeah. Okay, I have can I use like kind of wildcard over here? I have to check. Star dot log how can I introduce wildcard over here? I didn't find anything. Maybe this star dot log. No. I mean, it's a good command to search how to add wildcards doing find and replace in nvim. To use wildcard in vim find and replace functionality, you leverage regular expressions, 0 or more preceding character. I can say I have to match something dot log. Instead of something, I say anything dot log. To perform a replace any character. So for instance, just change file1.log to backup file1.log. Yes. I think this could do. Oh man, copy this thing. Dot log. Okay, let's remove this thing. Why didn't it fetched? Let's not worry about it right now. Okay, come on. I need to get rid of the type annotation needed. What the heck? I don't need this because it doesn't return any result. Cool. So this logger is there. So if I go inside this new, it should be creating these things: info file, error file. Thread should be there now. This thing is causing an error. It says the trade bound is not satisfied. What the heck? Should be an issue in this. The method bind exists for struct. It's not returning anything. Oh, did I mention okay response? Else okay response. Then what is the error? Mhm. Cool. That was the issue. So if I have to, let's see. Now here's the thing. This thing is already has access to this older version of Logger. I have to update this thing. I have to update this thing. Technically, this thing should be Logger ch. Now I have some trouble. Found data logger. So this has to be changed, guys. I'm in a mess. This thing has to be changed. Found expected this, found this. No method name, logger ch, logger in current scope. Expected this, found this. What the heck is this? Man, I have to take a break. But I think we have done it. I mean, what is this? Yeah, so this thread based approach using channels, this is good. We have done it. Now I just need to update the references used in the project, and then I have to check it. Okay, it's time to take some rest, so I'll go now and I'll end the stream. Thank you very much whoever is watching this stream. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye. Bye. Thank you very much for coming on this stream.